Hey, what is going on, guys? It's your boy Az. We are back here. We're gonna do a quick recap video, just combining some previous footage and try to slap it all in one here with the final Spider-Man Tower week. This week here, we're just gonna kind of do a recap because I'm sure there's gonna be some people that are gonna have to reset. And again, I'm still getting quite a few questions about why the floors are different. So again, here right now we're on, I think this is the Omega version. And you'll see here that under Omega, you have the Absorbing Man and you have the Xavier for 25 and 26. And if you hit New Run at the top here and you go into Hard Mode, and then you scroll down to 25 and 26, the enemies actually change. So, again, you get Zemo for 25, and then 26, you don't have Xavier. You're up against the New Mutants. So, yeah, I don't know how much more clear it is. I keep getting messages both on Discord and on YouTube. So I hope that clarifies it. Other than that, quickly jump into the recap here. There's some commentary attached, I think, on the last set of floors, but for the first few ones, it's just straight music. So hopefully helps you guys out. I'll see you guys in the next one.
protect your soul. protect your soul.
As is your boy Az. We are back here we are back from vacay finally, and we're gonna be doing the full commentary here of the Spider Tower with regards to the most recent week here, because it was a very challenging week, and of course as well I want to try some different team comps for you guys. So we will be resetting it so that we have to start from the bottom up. And again, just to kind of let you guys know, if you do hit reset, it's not a good idea to do it unless you know you're able to clear all 10 floors of each section without having to wait for that free reset. That free reset is pretty handy if your roster isn't built for it. But if you do hit the reset, it's going to basically start you from start to finish, and you're going to start on bottom number 1 again, and it is quite a bit of a climb. So I don't recommend it unless, like I said, unless you got the roster built up to do it. I, for myself, always try to do these things because I always like to see if I can figure out another way to do it. But yeah, just so you guys are aware, we'll quickly go over the roster of things, and I will begin my descent upon the tower again here and do this all over again here. And hopefully we are able to get some better comps for the floor 21 to 30, because it was a very challenging one. Okay, so 30, not 30, my apologies. 21, 22, and 23 are quite challenging. We had previously used this lineup to do it, and I did find that shuffling around some of these teams do kind of give you some flexibility here. So depending on where your roster is, and to perhaps you're not able to do 21 from my previous footage, you can actually mess things around and kind of move some teams around. So you can actually use Daring Warriors instead of the Thunderstrike Blastar combo, but I'll have gameplay for those ones all together so you guys can kind of find it in one place. And I also realized that the Omega Red Phoenix Force can also be used as well on a couple of the same nodes here. So we'll go through 21, 22, and 23 here with some different team comps, and hopefully helps you guys just give you some flexibility to kind of work around with your rosters as well. But these were kind of the best teams for those specific sections. So if you're able to figure out something else that works better, please let me know, because obviously as a community, we would like to help everyone out here and kind of help people push towards it. But yeah, I have seen some other videos from some of our other great content creators as well here. And yeah, there's definitely for sure some roster checks involved here. The teams that I use are pretty built up as well here. My Daring Warriors is probably the most lacking. But like I said, it is a very, very high-end tier stuff. And yeah, you need Xavier, and you need Daring Warriors, and you need Phoenix Force. And what do you do if you don't have Phoenix Force, right? So I mean, hopefully they bring Magneto back, right? So anyways, that's enough dribble drabble. Okay, so for this particular one, we're gonna run 21 here. We made it back after climbing it, and for sure it didn't take too long because we have a lot of teams already built up previously, and we blasted through the other ones quite smoothly. But 21 here, Daring Warriors is probably the go-to team here. This is what I will call the primary. This is the one you want to use here if possible. And of course as well, you don't need too built up of a Daring Warriors team, because basically Mephisto is going to do all the work for you, right? He's going to be doing a lot of the heavy lifting, and you're going to get Eclipse here, just ensuring that she gets a lot of these other negatives on the board. And from that point on, once you take care of Odin, once you take care of the big bad Odin, it really is a very, very smooth. And of course as well, because of the Daring Warriors specific passives, there's no taunt to protect Odin, and you can basic him at the start with the 50% damage from Mephisto. And once you do that, you can control the rest of the board off, and fairly straightforward, as you guys will see here. Like I said, it's just a matter of your size on your Daring Warriors definitely for sure makes it smoother. But because of the team's capabilities, because of the blind we get from Eclipse, because of the heals, because of the safeguard, because of Mephisto, you guys won't run too many issues here. So hopefully you guys are able to see that here. And like I said, I don't know if I need to say too much more than that. Just, yeah, it's a smooth run afterwards. Just take care of Odin, take care of the other extras, and for the most part, once it gets to Eclipse's second turn, when she does the heal, you should pretty much be able to clear most of these guys on the board. And like I said, most of their abilities themselves are fairly strong on this particular node. Now keep in mind as well, with this specific one, I do have quite a bit of my Daring Warriors built up because we used it for the Surfer Breaker. And now those weird orb thingies that you can buy his Surfer orbs, like, yeah, don't buy those. Terrible value. But like I said already, for this particular team, pretty much everyone's level 110 because at one point we were doing Surfer Breaker. They were all like about 2 or 3 stars. I didn't build the Daring Warriors up at all. And somehow they catapulted ahead of my Mephisto for leveling. So go figure, right? Go figure. Anyways, that's the lineup there. Let's quickly go over some of the other comps. Okay, so next one here. This is the comp that I had initially used the first time I ran it. So again, Mephisto doing his thing here, applying that basic. Blastar removes the taunt. If anybody's wondering how that taunt gets removed, Blastar is targeting and aiming for Odin, and then Quasar is important here to do that double tap with the striker. And then once you get Jeff's turn here, he's going to throw the special. He's going to apply some extra damage, and his striker should basically just kill off Odin here. Once you do that, pretty straightforward. Just throw the special here, so it does 15. It does that percentage. 10, 15? No, 10%. 10% health drain, and that pretty much clears the section here. If you are running some issues with the damage side, it may be a good idea to bring your Mephisto, or sorry, not your Mephisto, your some of the other guys up a few levels. We do have Quasar, we do have Jeff, and we do have Blastar at level 110. We used them obviously in the other breakers, so we brought them up there. But yeah, the extra levels definitely helps, and having diamonds on Quasar as well helps for sure. Now, RNG wise, if you don't want to use your Surfer Breaker, or you're planning to wait for a reset so that you don't need Surfer Breaker, I also recommend this team because this one will also do quite a bit of damage. I'm not saying to use this team. I'm just saying, you know, try to figure out a fifth that can help you out here to do that massive damage if you can't handle the damage alone there. But like I said, Mephisto's going to do his thing. He's going to target Odin. Then we get Surfer Breaker. He's so fast. He's going to use that special right here. Boom. Look at how much damage he does, right? Just crazy amounts of damage. I don't even know if Quasar is going to take a turn. Maybe he'll take a turn. We'll see here. Yeah, see, Odin's almost dead, though. So definitely for sure this does more damage. And then, yeah, Odin will just special dead, right? So lots of crazy damage here. I used this on a previous tower. This particular lineup between these three with Jeff, Surfer, Breaker, and Quasar were just absolutely insane. So this is why I stuck them together here. But just another alternative that you guys can take advantage of. If you can figure out another character that works while keeping your Surfer Breaker intact, like I said, if you're waiting for the reset and you need Surfer Breaker for that one cosmic villain section, you can definitely for sure you wait for the reset and do it there, or like I said, you can try that other combo with the Thunder Strike, Blastar, Quasar, Jeff combo that I used initially at the start as well, and that would work as well. So just trying to give some alternates here, but these were kind of the 3 best teams that worked for my roster, and hopefully makes sense here. We're going to move into the next section here now, which is the second node with the Phoenix Force, Apocalypse, and the the Shadow King. Now this one is actually that second one is actually even easier than the first node, but it's all very, very reliant on the size of your Daemon Hailstorm. So you'll see here that Sentry will cancel out their percentage health. Daemon's going to get that massive damage boost from Heartless, and Guardian gives the offense up, and Iron Patriot gives the vulnerability. Daemon's going to do the ultimate. That's going to double tap. Everybody just dies. Yeah, there's not really more than anything than that. I do have some alternate teams I'll run by you guys here, but again, if you see here, Daemon's the only one that's level 110. He is 3 diamonds, however, so definitely for sure having stats on him is massive. The other 4 don't really matter. Sentry is literally there just for his passive, and the other 3, yeah, doesn't really matter. Just if you have them built, great. If not, they won't even probably take a turn. So that is the best one for the second section. Now, having said that, now if you somehow manage to do the first section without Daring Warriors, then Daring Warriors with Sentry is another great combo you can take advantage here. And you'll see that Daring Warriors is actually good for all 3 of the first 3 nodes. So you'll see that here. But if you were able to use the Blastar Jeff combo, then you're able to use your Daring Warriors in this particular node as well. This is probably the best node to have them here because of the fact that they cancel that speed. Eclipse is going to top our health back up, give the energy to the team. Again, Sentry is here because he needs to cancel their speed and their bonus, their bonus health, whatever, from Apocalypse and all the other stuff they get. And that will also apply some good damage as well when Sentry does drop. He's going to go on the other side of the team, right? So that's the reason there for that. So make sure you guys are able to take advantage of this. It's great for us. Sentry dies. Watch the percentage damage rise from the ashes. And again, throw the for Night Thrasher here, throw the special instead of the ultimate, because the ultimate will actually take everything off of Sentry as well. So you want to be very careful that you don't kill your Sentry off too fast. It may be fine, but I was trying to be very careful here because I want Sentry to live. And unfortunately, like I said, it's just this particular team can just completely disengage Safeguard, right? So this is why it's such a great team. And like I said, once you kind of get through that initial section here, then you can kind of control the rest of the guys. And you'll see here it is very, very straightforward. Keep in mind, like I already said, the roster on my Daring Warriors is pretty built up because we had used them previously on the other breakers. And now I don't know if we do have a crazy need for them, other than the fact, I guess you know what? I guess Battle World Maestro is returning next week. So it is what it is. It is what it is. So this should kill off, I think, our Sentry here, which is unfortunate, but it's okay. That's what we want. But usually by around the second turn, Eclipse usually does quite a massive amount of damage here. So again, you already see my Sentry. The other 4 are 110. Outside of JJ, obviously, we didn't use her for the Surfer Breaker after we were brought in our Storm Mighty. But that is the lineup in a nutshell, and hopefully makes sense. And hopefully you guys are able to get through this one smoothly as well. Okay, so the next one, we will use a mirror team with our Phoenix Force with Xavier. This one, I don't know. I thought it was great that we could kind of counter these guys with their own team. So why the heck not, right? So this is another one I would say, if you're able to use your Sentry Daemon team for the that's the ideal one. But this is another one you can use here if you're not using your Phoenix Force. And ideally, you don't want to use a Phoenix Force for this one because you want to save this team actually for the next node. But I do have it here as an alternate so that if you guys have a way to get through the third node, maybe then you can use this one here, right? So it's just, it's all about trying to figure out which one works for your roster. But like I said, Xavier and Apocalypse and Phoenix Force will usually take out pretty much all the other teams. So this should not be too much of a surprise here. Other than that, if you guys want to watch this footage, go for it. I don't know if there's really too much to comment on other than the fact that, Phoenix dies, Phoenix comes out, special, Professor X does his ultimate, and then he just kind of wipes everybody off the board. So that's pretty much all. I'll go with that here. Only characters that are 110 on this particular one is Xavier, and I'll pop the roster up in a bit here so you guys can see it. Okay, so as I said, you don't want to use this particular team on the previous node, if he can use that Daemon Sentry Bomb, that's the ideal team. This one, I would say, is probably the ideal one to take down the Daring Warriors, just because they're kind of built to play against the Daring Warriors, and they're just a really well-rounded team that goes against it. So this is the kind of the team you want to play here. You can also use Fantastic Four, but I wouldn't recommend Fantastic Four because we need Fantastic Four later on as well. And people have told me that Fantastic Four works as well here with Xavier. So again, you want to save your Fantastic Four for later on if you can. But this one here, we focus on Night Thrasher just because we don't like him. And he also centers around the other Daring Warriors as well. So this one just works out really well in our favor. And yeah, I think, I don't really know if I need to comment too much on this particular one. You know, like I said, Phoenix Force does their thing. Xavier ults, everyone dies. You know, Phoenix Force comes back. They do their ultimates and their specials. Yada, yada, yada. There's not really too much strategy to it other than the fact that you just got to make sure Xavier survives so that he can throw that ult. And you'll see that it is like not an easy node, right? Even with Xavier at Phoenix Force, it's a very, very hard still, but may require 1 or 2 resets just to kind of get the right RNG so that Xavier doesn't die. But once Phoenix does her thing, Omega Red's gonna ult, and then Xavier's gonna ult, and yeah, everything just kind of melts. So there you guys have it there. All right, so we will go into one last team here for this particular node. Yeah, I mean, you can use Exalted as well. So again, I don't recommend doing this unless you're waiting for the reset or unless you have a way to counter the mutant section one. There, New Mutants does. Apparently New Mutants works, but my New Mutants are way too low and I did not even want to test it. But you can use Exalted here as well, just because they are a proven counter to Daring Warriors in Cosmic Crucible, especially because if you pair them with Xavier, actually, if you pair anybody with Xavier, they become a counter. So, I mean, not really anything, like I said, there's not really anything strategic about this one as well. Storm does her thing, you know, opens up. You just use their abilities when you can here and just... Yeah, Exalted really makes it pretty smooth, actually. So, yeah, it just... Xavier just gets a lot of protection from this team. So, yeah, like I said, Morph and... or not Morph, Angel and Storm, they just give so much protection from the vulnerabilities and the vitality. And Xavier will survive. And this is actually a team I use quite a bit in War against the Retcon as well. And this works out really, really well. So... no surprises that it would work on this game mode as well here because, yeah, like I said, they are very, very good in their respective game modes, and Xavier just makes every team solid. So hopefully you guys are able to get through it. And like I said, I don't recommend using this team unless, like I said, you have really built up New Mutants that you can use for the Mutant section. But yeah, for this one, if you need an alternate, here it is. So you guys can use it. All right. So again, don't use this team unless you're willing to wait for the reset, and because you're gonna need this team pretty much right after the Sinister Six section. So again, it's just an alternative here that works if you guys don't have those other teams built up. Now, all right, so those were the first 3 nodes. Now we're gonna do the kind of the Spider / Insidious 6 ones. Couple different comps that we can use as well here, and I think my initial run I ran the Doc Ock Tangled with our Breaker and plus Green Goblin and our Black Cat just for speed. So this lineup will work smoothly with a bit of RNG, but I did find that a lot of people were saying that the RNG was pretty spotty. So I did find a more consistent one where if you bring in Vulture instead of Green Goblin Classic, you can also bring in Hive Mind Void Knight as well, and this actually makes it a little smoother. So if you guys are having issues with running my initial team I had at first, try the second team here. And now keep in mind, because we are taking Vulture from the Insidious 6 team from the for the next section, you want to just sub out your Vulture here on the Insidious 6 with the Green Goblin Classic, and that will basically make the team pretty much the same, at least from my standpoint. But let's go over the footage here and I'll show you guys both of it. And also keep in mind, a third one is also, if you have your Symbiote 6, you can also run it very, very smoothly. I'll slap that footage on there as well. The Symbiote 6 would be good here if you guys didn't care about reaching to the end. And then on the Wednesday reset, your Symbiote 6 will come back, and then you can use them for another later section. So this is just so if you don't have your Green Goblin Classic or Tangled Web or Scorpion Breaker like myself built up, you can use your Symbiote 6 here. You can kind of bypass it that way and kind of work on the next few sections. And then when Wednesday comes around, your Symbiote 6 will be ready to refreshed and ready to go. And then you can kind of complete your climb that way as well. So with 24, the hardest part about this node is the fact that you need to control the other Weaver. If the other Weaver takes a turn on you, it's pretty much game over. And so Black Cat here is important because she's going to rip off all the revive once. We're going to open up with that massive Vulture special so that we get the slow on. And then our Void Knight's going to throw the ability block so that Weaver can't take another turn. And what I like to do here is I like to stun Icarus. You can probably stun Icarus, or you could probably stun... actually, no. I think Icarus is probably the best one to stun here, just because he's so crazy strong and he's reworked now as well. So yeah, it doesn't make sense to not have him stun. But anyways, yeah, so you see here we do lose a character, but that's okay. Make sure you land the stun on the Weaver. Unfortunately, if you don't land the stun on Weaver, not the end of the world, but definitely for sure having a massive Scorpion Breaker here is definitely key. My boy Rage, he is able to do this one without having Scorpion Breaker, so feel free to check out his footage if you would like. I think he used a Silver Sable. His teams were very, very solid as well here, but I just, you know, if you're building Surfer Breaker, if you're building Scorpion Breaker, it makes a lot of sense to use them here. So this is why I use him here, and he does a lot of damage. I mean, why make it you know, harder for yourselves, right, if you don't build them up? So this is why I do it here. And yeah, from that point on, fairly straightforward. We'll run into the other comp here. All right, so my original gameplay involved Green Goblin Classic for speed, and we also had Doc Ock in here just because he gives a lot of heals and sustain. So they open up with their first move, very similar to how we had the Vulture, but unfortunately we just don't take the first turn like Vulture does. We'll throw the ult here. This gives a little bit of rewind and some trauma, and again, a very, very similar situation where we just want to control. We'll throw the stun on Weaver here so that we can kind of sustain and make sure that she doesn't take another turn. And then then we kind of have some options here. For sure you can throw the stun on Icarus as well, but what I like to do is I like to throw the special, and I'll explain the reason why for that in a sec. So that way we can kind of keep our cooldowns. We're going to throw the special here on the center again, and again, just Scorpion Breaker just absolutely smashes, right? So this team is kind of built for the Dread right now. At least that's how it's looking. So I feel like they're really trying to showcase that. But like I said, if you don't have them built, you can do this one here with Silver Sable, I think, instead. And I think you gotta use the Hive Mind comp though. So anyways, so once they take their turn here, then we can actually start getting our ultimate back up as well. You want to make sure you can land the ultimate on Weaver so that she doesn't take a turn, and then it's going to give us the 5 charges of evasion as well here. That's important because you want to make sure that we can get some protection here, right? We're going to aim for Xerxes here just because she's going to die, and then Green Goblin Classic is going to hit the basic here. Just so you guys are aware, when we do get to Scorpion Breaker's turn, he's pretty much going to just clear everybody. It's just a matter of him taking turns here. Our Scorpion Breaker is pretty massive, so hence why we take advantage of the fact here. He's one of my biggest Spider-Verse characters, so it's a little silly if I don't use him, but not everyone's going to have him built up. And like I said, you can use the Silver Sable, Hive Mind, Void Knight comp that Rage uses, which it's actually pretty amazing he's able to get it done. I think his teams are fairly decent as well here. Like, they're not super massive, not 110 or anything like that. So he's just very crafty, and he got really lucky with the RNG as well, which is awesome. So anyways, hopefully you guys are able to see that here. Fairly straightforward. Also, I just slapped the Quicksilver symbiotes there with Carnage. I don't know if there's too much commentary other than the fact this team just shreds. Arena meta team, king of arena. They'll shred anybody right now, even on this game mode. But they just got to take one turn pretty much, and then Quicksilver's going to do his thing after that. So even though they got the charges, Quicksilver's attack cannot be avoided, and he'll just basically just strip all the charges, all the revive once, everything's gone. And pretty much from that point on, it'll be smooth sailing. So again, that's the easy way to do it. And if you need to use your Symbiote 6 later on, then you can just wait until the Wednesday for the reset. Now, for the next node, let's quickly jump into this one, assuming you followed my initial guide and you didn't, the first version of it, right? And you use Vulture because that was the easier version. Green Goblin Classic is going to be able to open up here now with the Insidious 6. That's going to give a little bit of trauma back to the team, get some rewind action going on as well. We want to throw the ability block on Kang because this is going to ability block and just cancel out his abilities. And really, that's kind of all you need to do here. He's not going to be able to use a slow now. Once we get to our Hobgoblin, just aim everything at Thanos. And if he doesn't kill Thanos in one shot here, or he survives a little bit, just reset it. It's a quick enough node. If you reset it, he should be able to just die from it. But in this particular one, yeah, like I said, we didn't reset it because we just wanted to see how it goes. Like I said, just reset it. You can kill him with the special here, depending on the luck. And that's what I kind of did with the next section you guys will see here. But fairly straightforward other than that. Save the ability block when Doom drops. And yeah, fairly straightforward other than that. All right, so let's go into another mod, another comp, I guess. So for this one, like I said, this is the one where if you went with my second guide, you would still have your Vulture. So you would be having Vulture here in place. Throw the special there, and then yeah, like I said, when it gets a Hobgoblin's turn, you want to just reset it a few times if you need to. But yeah, he's gonna be able to basically just shred Thanos endgame. Thanos endgame won't even be able to release his passive, and from that point on, yeah, it's just smooth. It's smooth, and you'll get these guys cleared off here. Just make sure that when the next wave drops as well, similar to what I was talking about the previous section, you want to make sure you have the ability block from the Superior Spider-Man, because having that ability block will block out It will block out Doom, and it will just make sure that you can take care of that node without having too many issues here. So that's why you want to make sure you can reset it a few times if you need to, and then that way you can ensure victory as well. Like I said, fairly straightforward other than that. Hobgoblin is pretty much a MVP on this particular node. All right, so let's quickly chat about the last few nodes here. Again, with the mutant one, with the X-Men, you are able to use Old Man Logan here in place of Xavier. If you don't have Xavier, the team will work just fine. There was really no other alternative. Somebody on Discord did tell me that New Moons works, but they do have to be fairly built up, and mine were not. Not a single one of them is G20, so I was not willing to do that sacrifice yet. And because they are an older team, I just don't think it's very smart to do it. The Cosmic section, we have our Fantastic Four that I mentioned earlier to save them. We have Odin plus Shadow King. There's definitely for sure some alternatives I think you can use, but I found this one to be the most consistent. And yeah, Odin is Odin. You'll see that it is a very tough node, but Fantastic Four plus the Odin is usually pretty rock solid. Next, we have 28, which is the villain, cosmic / whatever. And basically, it's calling for Shadow Conclave or Omen. And we have both examples there of it. Unfortunately, if you do use Shadow Conclave, you do need to have Surfer Breaker. But luckily for me, yeah, you can do either or. But yeah, you do have to have Surfer Breaker pretty built up, unfortunately. But I'll have gameplay of both. And then finally, the last two nodes involving our Symbiote 6. So this would be the one, like I said, if you used your Symbiote 6 previously, you would not be able to use them here, but you just got to wait till Wednesday, have the reset in, then you can continue your climb. And then finally, we use our Amazing Avengers here. And of course, as well, the last node is very, very tricky. You got to be very smart with your timing on your attacks on particular characters. But we'll go through that when the footage is there so you guys have it. All right. So let's jump into Mutants or the X-Men, I guess. And this one, switch into Old Man Logan. Old Man Logan's going to do some magic here for us. You can, if you are able to make it here with Xavier, I think you could just hit auto. But yeah, Storm Mighty here is pretty much a given. People have told me that New Moons works on this one as well. Again, I cannot confirm this unless, like I said, like I don't know if my New Moons is big enough to handle these guys. I just know that they are a good counter for Xavier sometimes in Crucible. But yeah, with this particular lineup where there's also a Surfer Breaker after you handle the first section, I don't know if that's going to be that easy. But anyways, yeah, so throw the stun on Hank if you can here. And you want to take care of Hank and Captain Britain as well. Keep in mind, every time you use your ultimate as well, I do believe Xavier kind of clears negatives and heals himself off as well. I don't remember if that's true here in this case, but yeah, anyways, we just kind of go right for him and kill him off. Get rid of Xavier ASAP, and things are just going to be smoother for you. Yeah, and then you can kind of go after Cap B and Hank, because those two are annoying. One gives block chance, the other just heals everybody off, so it gets quite annoying. So obviously, you want to take care of these guys. I do believe when it's 2 or less, that's when the secondary wave drops, and that has the Surfer Breaker, Minerva, and I think Ebony Maw. And am I missing anybody? I think that's it. I think it's just the 3. But like I said, Old Man Logan is Old Man Logan. He just shreds. Yeah, like I said, just kind of focus your damage on those two. You don't really need to worry too much about Shuri and Black Bolt. They're kind of like nothing crazy, right? So take care of Hank so that he doesn't top anybody's health off. He dies, great. Let's take care of Captain Britain so then we can unleash our speed bar again. I think he still cancels it. As long as he's on the board, no one can gain speed bar, right? So you want to just make sure you can kill him. We'll blind Shuri here just to ensure that we don't get too much, just to ensure some insurance here for damage. And yeah, just save the special there from Angel for the next secondary wave. And like I said already, yeah, just take your time with it. I mean, honestly, you're rebuilding cooldowns here. You can kind of take your time with it. The biggest problem is Xavier, and we already dealt with him pretty smoothly here. So we'll throw the special, boom, or not the special, the basic there, boom. And yeah, like I said, next wave drops. It's Surfer Breaker, so throw the ultimate. This should chain off and kill off, I think, Captain B as well. So dead. And then, yeah, from that point on, yeah, you can stun Minerva. Don't even bother stunning Surfer Breaker. I think he just clears it. I think that's what he does. I don't really know. But yeah, we'll throw the special on Ebony Maw. So there, both of those two are canceled out now. And then, yeah, you can kind of go for, I don't know, whoever you want. But hopefully you guys are able to see that here. Fairly straightforward, like I said, with Old Man Logan. He just does so much for this entire team. And really, no chance whatsoever. All right, getting some water. Sorry. So this one here, yeah, very straightforward as well. Fantastic Four is Fantastic Four. We open up with the massive ultimate from Sue. This is gonna just clear things off for us. And then, yeah, you want to make sure with Odin, you also want to make sure that he's getting those nice assists as well. I make him as a striker so that he gets an extra couple hits. We use Franklin's ultimate here, and we also have him getting a couple extra hits as well here. So Shadow King is big here. If you're able to use Shadow King, please do. He's just going to allow for so much utility. We can use the special right in the center here. This is going to basically just ability block, get some good amount of AoE right in the center here. And also blocking the ability block or sorry, blocking the ultimate from Silver Sable as well here is pretty awesome. Through special right in the center here, if possible, aim for maybe Daredevil, so then he can't use his taunt or his special to heal off, and then he's kind of pretty much sectioned out for a little good chunk here. And then yeah, like I said, Odin just use the special. It's gonna give the speed and the other buffs. It's gonna make the team a little stronger here. And when the next teams drop, which is Liberty, I think it's 2 or less as well. They are a force of nature to be dealt with. So just make sure you guys are ready. Make sure you have your cooldowns ready to go. Like I said, having Shadow King here is great because he can just cleanse. All those positives gone in a blink of an eye, which is great for us. And he should get a ping here, killing off Hitmonkey as well, if I'm not mistaken. Dead. Okay, great. Good stuff. And then, yeah, you can throw the ability block. I would say Sharon and probably Joaquin, like very, very dangerous targets. So just take care of them if you can here. Throw the special. This is going to strip the death proof from Cap Sam as well. And then we get a couple extra pings here and there. But yeah, other than that, Odin will do his thing here. Boom, everyone's going to melt. Good percentage damage. Daredevil's dead. Throw the ultimate here as well from Fantastic Four. And then, yeah, I think that's kind of it. I think fairly straightforward. I don't know if I need to comment too much more than that. Hopefully makes sense. So just like in the Fear Tower, it looks like Shadow slash the Omen is basically a needed team here. And we'll run the first one here, which is the Omen team. I do have them pretty built up here. Obviously, you can tell here, even being built up at, level 105, tier 19, tier 20, it's not an easy section. I did try some Annihilators. I did try some Null comps, and yeah, Daemon was just slicing and dicing through everything. So unfortunately, that's just the way it goes. The ultimate here is going to even cleanse the safeguard off, and then we can pretty much from that point on save the rewind actually for the second wave, save the ability block as well for the second drop. That's going to be important here just because we are fighting up against the Heroes for Hire. They've got a ton of speed bar, and the Shang-Chi there is quite dangerous if you leave him be. So that's why we want to make sure we have that ability block. And when we use our Surfer Breaker as well, same thing. Just save his abilities up for the next drop. I do believe the next one also drops when it's 1 or 2 as well. I think it was, I want to say it was 2, but we'll see here. When he does drop, he uses the special. Good amount of damage here, showing us why he is the king of AoE right now. So next wave drops when it's 2. And again, like I said, you just want to make sure when that drops, then you have Ebony Moss Ultimate, you have Surfer Breaker's Ultimate, you have Ronin's ability block as well. It's just going to make things so much smoother for you. Don't get greedy on the first wave here, because if you get greedy and you start using too many abilities, it's just going to cripple you. So this is why we save everything here. And then, yeah, I think from that point on, once you do the ability blocks and all that other stuff, then it's fairly straightforward. And like I said, this is the roster here, 110 on Surfer, and everybody else is 105. So you guys need to freeze it. So you have a look. Should be fairly straightforward. Like I said, ultimate there. And yeah, and that's kind of it. I don't know if I need to say other than that. We'll jump into the Shadow Conclave section as well, so you guys can kind of see how that one goes. Okay, so Shadow Conclave plus Surfer Breaker. So this one is a little bit less than ideal because that means you'd also need to build up a little bit of Omen and a little bit of, Shadow Conclave. But I will say that my Sylvie is level 100. And in terms of the actual gear levels and tiers, this team is actually a little bit weaker than my Omen team. Just because my Ebony Maw, I think my Minerva and my Maw are both G20, I believe. So this one only has Surfer Breaker being G20 and my Thanos. Everybody else is G19. But anyways, so yeah, you just want to take care of this initial node here. Thanos is going to feed energy to the team as well, which is really awesome, actually. So just make sure you guys are able to do that here. And then, yeah, like I said already, fairly straightforward. Just nuke these guys down. When that next wave drops, then our Surfer Breaker is going to have his ultimate, and he's going to have a special as well here, just because of the energy that we get from Thanos just feeding to us, which is pretty sweet. Living Mummy, you also want to make sure you can stun him as well if you get a chance. So that way, if you are able to prevent his taunt, right? So this is where Sylvie's going to come up large here with that stun, and this is why I kind of like having her here. So we throw the special there. Great stuff. Now we can get some turns here. So yeah, they're just going to do some damage with us. And like I said, Omen makes pretty short work of it, but Shadow Conclave does an okay job as well because we have their war buffs. Use that special just so we can kind of drain some health. Again, like I said, Sylvie, you want to make sure you can stun that Living Mummy because he's just going to ruin your day if you don't stun him. So just make sure you guys are doing that. We'll throw the ultimate ability block here for everybody. This is going to allow for Shang-Chi not to be able to rewind us, which is great. And now Surfer Breaker can do what he's good at, which is just blasting the planet here with his, his Breaker of Worlds attack, I guess. I don't know. But yeah, hopefully you guys are able to get through that. And other than that, I think that's kind of it. That's all I really want to say about this one. Fairly straightforward. Otherwise, like I said, just control that Living Mummy. And yeah, it looks like there's a good amount of control here thanks to the ability blocks from Executioner. And as well, we have good energy feeding as well from Thanos into our Surfer Breaker so that he can come back and use his ability block as well here. Okay, finally, Symbiote 6. Okay, so if you guys didn't use your Symbiote 6 earlier on and you have them available, then great. You can use them on this section here on 29. And like I said, this would be a good one because you technically you need to have Symbiote 6 here, right? There's no other team that can do it. So again, this is kind of the only team that will work. But if you did use these guys early on in the other section, you can wait till the Wednesday, the reset happens, and then you can use it again. And then once you get past 30, then everything resets again and you can start your climb or your descent, I guess. In this case, we're going down and not up, I guess. But yeah, this one here did not work the way we want to, so we'll just reset it quickly. I actually need to change the ISO 8s because I had some wrong ones here. But like I said, you want to make sure that when you go into this one, I find that having some extra skirms just to kind of get the resistance off is just insane on these guys. So you want to make sure you can do that. Throw the special here with the null to open things up so we can get Carnage on the board. And then Quicksilver is going to do what he's good at, which is just ensuring that we can kind of rip off some of these crazy negatives or positives, I guess, and hence why we want the extra resistance, right? So boom, 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 slice and dice that safeguard. And then, yeah, I'm just kind of aiming for Superior Spider-Man here. But, yeah, there's probably no wrong answer. Superior Spider-Man gives the whole team evasion as well and the safeguard. So, you know, you can kind of see why it would be a good team to go after or a good character, I guess, to go after. Because, yeah, like I said, you just don't want to leave him too long. And he's going to feed energy to the group. And, yeah, he's just really good. So the more kills we get, the faster we can kind of get this done. Good stuff. We can start spreading our negatives around as well, thanks to Riot's ultimate. And then, yeah, you can kind of see here, once we start killing off some people here, we can start getting some massive turn bars as well here to the Carnage. Just like the way we in Sentry City, right? Sentry City, Echoes of Abyss, or Echoes of Sentry City, my bad. Kind of fudging the two up together. But, like I said, when they get some kills, get the speed bar to the team, since they're all symbiotes. And, yeah, and then you can kind of go from there. I don't believe... other than that, once you get that special off, I don't really know if there's any strategy with this particular one. You just need your Symbiote 6 built up and everything else kind of falls into place here. So I'll leave you guys with that. Okay, we made it to the end. So if you guys have stuck out with me here, thank you again. So this is the last one here. We will get through it here quickly, and just so you guys are aware, the main goal is to take out Null first as fast as you can, so that way we can prevent his darkness, or we can prevent his flipping as well. Darkness can be prevented. If you add Nick Fury to this team, Nick Fury also makes it faster. But yeah, nonetheless, we'll throw the massive special here to get the trauma and the blinds to every single character. And then, yeah, Rachel's going to do her thing here using the ult here. And you'll see that we try to focus on Anti-Venom because we need to take care of Null and Anti-Venom because those two characters are very dangerous. If you kill Null off, Anti-Venom's going to revive him. Red Goblin doesn't have the charges, so that's fine. So anyways, that's kind of the reason why. So we take care of Null. Boom. And yeah, like I said, we got lots of safeguard. We got lots of positives here. If you use the Nick Fury strategy, you can actually take care of Null before he takes even a turn. Maybe I'll do some gameplay of that. I'm not 100% sure if it works too well, but I can definitely for sure see if I can get some gameplay of that as well for you guys, so you guys can see it here. But like I said, throw the ultimate here on Anti-Venom. That's going to crit. That's going to do some pretty good damage here. And the goal here is now to take care of Anti-Venom. And then he should just bleed out, but you also don't want to take that chance if he doesn't die. So hence why we'll throw the ultimate here. And this should get some splash damage as well. And this actually stuns Scream as well. So this is great for us. And then, yeah, Rachel's going to do her special there. That should kill off maybe somebody. Maybe. Close. Either way, okay, Blade will do it. So again, same thing. Boom. There we go. Okay, dead. So now once you do that, you want to make sure you can just keep focusing the damage on the AoE part. But Agent Venom now, you want to make sure he also is kind of like last, or leave Red Goblin last. Those are kind of the most useless characters, and whoever lives, I guess, they have the most health, I guess. But hopefully you guys are able to see that. It is very difficult node, but we do get a little bit of luck with the crits and stuff, and you may require that as well. If not, may be worth kind of resetting a few times. Other than that, that's it, guys. That is 21 to 30. Let me know if you guys have any questions on the run here. It is a very difficult section, like I said, and it's not fun. But yeah, we will see how next week's tower goes as well. Other than that, hopefully the commentary helps you guys out, and hopefully you guys are able to get some value out of this video. Thank you for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one.